You see a lot of resilient babies every day since the last so many years. So, is there a baby who really, a story which you can never forget, or something which that small baby, that tiny eyes, little fingers, heart, which you always say, who taught you something really valuable in it?
I'll tell you the story actually. It was a 32-weeker. So 32-weeker for a NICU care physician, it's a good gestation. You're somewhere crossed 8 months of life. And they're usually good-sized babies, about 1.5 kilo. The baby was born. Mother went into preterm labor. She had a history of preterm births even prior. So she went into preterm labor at 32 weeks. The baby was born very active. There was no real support that was required for the baby after birth. The baby came to the NICU. Baby did well. So we started feeds, as per protocol within the NICU. And the mother had a lot of breast milk, which is a huge blessing for any preterm baby. So that baby did well. And, we kept, the NICU counseling families is a cornerstone because they're involved with you, from the time the baby is out, So we kept telling, and I was one of the specialists at the time on service in that particular unit. And I kept assuring them that the baby is doing so well. There's nothing to worry. But unfortunately, what happened is about 2.5 weeks of age, the baby was close to about 34 weeks, as I remember. The baby started deteriorating in terms of breathing. The serial x-rays that we're doing at that time, there was a concern that's raised there's something abnormal on the right side, and then we compared x-rays that were done right from birth. And, so we always do multidisciplinary team meetings in the morning where the whole team sits and reviews, x-rays of these babies who are not doing that well. So the x-ray that was done at the most recent time of the baby's deterioration, there was a slight change compared to the previous x-rays. So we kept talking to the parents, and I kept reassuring them that, we'll get to the bottom of it. But for the time being, the baby does need the respiratory support. It wasn't easy for them to process the fact that the baby didn't need any support, and then now suddenly the baby is requiring support. And for 10 days, rather than going off the support was being increased. So what happened was that the CT showed a birth issue with the lung, actually. So there was a congenital malformation of the lung. So we had to break it to the family. And then, unfortunately, it required surgical intervention for it to be corrected. Why? Because the baby was having problems, secondary to this issue. Long story short, this particular case taught me that you need to, when you counsel parents, always necessary to be optimistic. You need to have a certain amount of caution as well with the optimism. So this is a very important lesson actually in terms of my professional journey as well, that it's a skill actually. You learn it with years, that it's necessary to reassure, but then make sure they understand that, any time spent in the NICU there's a certain uncertainty that comes along with it. And there's no way that we can guarantee that, 100% success is always the end result.